The next two items up are reports out of. Were there any questions with respect to the transportation report?
I didn't have any questions.
All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, capital projects.
I think that we got the report and it's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, and nobody got any questions on that? All right, thank you very much.
Don't even come up there, Joe.
The next item up is review of audit and finance. The only items, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kennedy, we had discussed was the budget summary coming forward.
So that was the only thing you had to bring to us?
Yes. All right, the next item up are public comments. Do we have an updated list of any? Andy, is there an updated list?
I don't have an updated list, no.
Okay, the first person up is Mr. Larry Bratton. Thank you for your patience. I know you've been here a long time and we're running behind. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm Reverend Larry Bratton from Bible Way Baptist Church, and I'm here to stand on behalf of Prestige Preparatory Academy. I don't stand alone. There are others out here, parents and students. I'm asked if they stand so that you see some of the support in the room. We believe that this school is viable, it's making a difference in our community, and we're very proud of it. As a stakeholder in the community and one of the leaders, we had a town hall meeting, and we are very, very much concerned about this school. We want to see the doors stay open, and we want it to be successful. And whatever that means from your end, as well as ours as a community, we're willing to do it. I have personally spent time with this school. I've been with the kids, and I am impressed. I've seen the report cards. I've seen how grades have grown, and I've seen the tremendous effort that the teachers are giving. I met with the parents. I met with the staff. I met with the faculty and the visioneer and the principal. And I am well pleased to say it's time to roll up our sleeves together and make a difference for this school. The future is bleak if we don't have good institutions that are putting out production. I work on the back end with a program that deals with at-risk youth, 17 to 24. Most of them have lost their way, come out of incarceration, DJJ, from jails, you name it. We want to work on the front end. This is an opportunity with a school that is doing it, that's making a difference, and I am both sleeves rolled up, and I need your support to keep the school open. Thank you for your time. We have others coming behind me, but I'm only here to say that Prestige Preparatory Academy needs to stay open. So with the last 32 seconds, I'll just keep saying it. Prestige needs to stay open. Prestige needs to stay open. Prestige needs to stay open. I think you got the message. Please let it sink into your spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Bratton. Next person up is Ms. Sharon Rivers.
Good afternoon. I'm also a member of Bible Way Baptist Church, and I had the privilege to witness a community meeting with the Prestige School, how the kids showed me report cards that any parent would be proud of, how these young men are actually shaping it. In the Bible says, train up a child while they're young. We have to start now while they're young so that they will not depart, that they will know that they have a future, that they know they will have an opportunity, that they know through you all voting them and keeping Prestige open is the answer to some of our problems. Just because you come from one area doesn't mean that you can't excel to the next area. And it's up to us as parents, as leaders, as anybody who seen the statistic and the data that they showed us from the school. I stand also for Prestige to stay open, and I ask you all to look at the statistical data that they are representing. They are actually surpassing some of the CCD schools, and I have been here a lot of years. I even remember when I was a child being tested because I was in a certain area. But when I moved to Baltimore, Maryland, in a different school, I became an A student where they said I needed to be tested, and that wasn't so. They did not give me the academics to make me excel in the things I want to do. We have to give our children the academics and the things that they need so they can excel, so they can have a future and do the things that they are purpose in their life, to know that they do have a future and they do belong somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rivers. Next up is Ms. Beverly Gatson.
Good evening.
Evening.
I too am here to address Prestige. There was an article in the newspaper several days ago talking about Magnet and Charter and how they are becoming overcrowded. That's because Magnet should be in every school. They shouldn't be separated out. I'm here to address Prestige because we have seen that these kids deserve. We've been over there volunteering. We've been here school board meeting after school board meetings. We just saw their recent report cards. These children are doing great. So we want to see Prestige remain open. And while you are there thinking about policy and making a policy to silence the community and parents coming before you, stakeholders, I think you need to think twice about that. You're rushing to judgment to do a policy to silence the same people that are responsible for you sitting on the board and for your jobs. These parents have a right to come before you and express concerns about their children because you have undereducated them for years. So it's no need for you getting all out of shape, bent out of shape. When parents come before you to address this board, they have a right to do so. So I'm saying to you, if you could rush to judgment to create a policy to silence us before you had boards before you, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, limit us to 1 minute, to 30 seconds, to the beginning of the agenda, to the end of the agenda. I'm saying because you know when we come before you, we are telling you the truth. So learn how to accept the truth, move forward, educate these children, and that policy that you're thinking about, let's put that on the back burner and let's educate children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, Mr. John Singletary, and then Dr. Joyce Coleman.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. My name is John Singletary. Recently in a meeting, Dr. Postlewaite stated that she was well aware that CCSD was riddled with institutional racism, but yet she was willing to say that she would do what's necessary to defend that position. To defend institutional racism where we have Prestige, who's outperforming many, and I say many, 75% of the schools in their category. Yet, we're talking about an order to say close them down. We think it's a direct conflict of interest when the superintendent is on the executive board for Meeting Street Academy and CCSD is mandating that parents take their children out of schools and put them over into Meeting Street Academy. It's a direct conflict of interest. We are simply asking that Prestige stay open. Previously, we asked to be on the agenda for tonight. That has been denied. We're not on the agenda. We made it very clear that we've got some community support and that if necessary, we're going the next step, which is, it appears down the road of bringing some type of legal action, probably the largest in the history of CCSD. When we look at the weight of the Clemson study, the the College of Charleston study, the Harvard study, it is clear support for our position. We're asking that Prestige stay open and that CCSD not allow a superintendent who agrees that there's institutional racism to use that in order to close a school like Prestige. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Dr. Coleman.
Good evening to the board and to Superintendent Postlewaite. It is obvious the deck is stacked against Prestige Preparatory Academy. Not since July 2016, when we received a unanimous vote to open, have we ever received a positive response for anything we have requested to improve our school. Prestige was basically asked to leave the CCSD 2019 school recruitment fair. Prestige was not allowed to participate in the 2019 school choice fair. A reading coach was hired for $60,000. We were informed that we would only receive $53,000, and to date, we've only received $30,000. After the demand to prepare a business plan, we presented a closeout deficit of $9,980. The district came back with a deficit of $55,000. If we were given the funds rightly due to the school according to our 45th day count and our 135th day count, we would not have a deficit and probably could further reduce the deficit the district says we owe you. On January 23rd, I received a letter that said we did not have enough money to support the second semester of the school year, and the district would be transitioning our children based on a recent financial report. On January 28th, I received an email that stated the additional funds due from the state would be able to keep the school open for the second semester. A letter was written to me on March 1st stating that if we did not want a hearing, the district would work with us in transitioning our students. We replied back in the record time. However, a letter went out to parents on February the 26th, 4 days prior to me getting that letter, saying that the school may be closing and telling my parents how to transition their kids out of Prestige. When we requested a facility for our boys with heat and air conditioning, we were offered a rat-infested facility with 4 classrooms when we requested 7, and the kindergartners would be on the 2nd floor at a cost of $60,000 for renovation and $24,000 for our portion of utilities. Note, Prestige has kindergartners are at 100% or at 85% or better in mathematics, and 60% of our kindergartners are at 85% or better in reading. According to EVOS, our composite scores are more or higher than 20 elementary schools and only lower than 8 elementary schools in Charleston County. In closing, please let me say, I would never request to revoke the charter of PPA, contrary to what's been told to me by a telephone call I got this afternoon. Those are not my words, and I have not written such. I understand that from my attorney that the board said it's not necessary to have a hearing. So I ask that you board members, at the very least, will you receive the phone call from me? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Coleman. And with that, that's the last item we have on our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. 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 Thank you.